Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mentor Me Monday, and I'm your host Paul Turner. And as you can see, my background's a little bit different today. You think I'm in my office, but I am not. I'm actually down in my new man cave that I'm kind of trying to work out. We moved into a new house, so I got a bookshelf behind me, which is good. And I'm kind of decorating the walls over here. Of course, that's a map of Mordor from Lord of the Rings, so I'll point that out. But anyway, I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about raising up a next generation preacher. And so it has been a little while for me since I was 18 years old or 19 years old when I first started preaching. And I have lately, and this is kind of an anomaly, unfortunately, in our society, I don't have, and maybe you tell me, I don't have a lot of kids that come through our youth ministry that feel a calling to, I mean, they're called to minister, they're called to do these things, but very few of them are called to full-time ministry. And I know that has to do with a lot of different factors in culture and things like that. But I also just recently had a young man come in about 5 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, and had a very strong presence. He felt a very strong call to ministry. He was saved maybe probably a year and a half ago. And so he came to me and asked me if I would kind of mentor him a little bit. Now, the church that he had been at previously had kind of let him do everything. It was a really small church, and he's a young man, and I can understand that. But when I start mentoring any young person, I want to know where their commitment level is, because they're going to take up time and they're going to take up, space, and they're going to take up all those kind of things and energy. And so I kind of gauge commitment based on, what they're willing to put forth. And so, of course, this guy, I guess he kind of reminds me a little bit of myself, but not nearly as pushy. I don't think I was that pushy, but he is pushy, and that's okay because he's 18 years old, has a head full of steam, been saved about a year and a half, and feels a call to preach. So there you go. And so for me, has about 3.5 month cooling off period with me. Anybody that knew that wants to come and do ministry, whether it's in the band or drama team or anything like that, I say, look, hang out with us for about 3 months and see if this is where you're supposed to be. See if this is a place that you feel like you can connect with and things like that. And so he stuck around, stuck around, stuck around. And I asked him, I said, look, are you called to preach or are you called to pastor? Those are, in my eyes, two separate things in regards to, do you want to be an evangelist or do you love people? Now, if you want to get up and just yell at people, you can go be an evangelist and do that. If you want to love people and help them be on a journey and be disciples and things like that, that's another course of action. And he told me that he wants to pastor. So I said, okay, we'll go that route. And I had him write down 18 questions. Well, I said 12 questions. He wound up writing down 18 questions. And the questions, quite frankly, are amazing. In fact, I think I'm going to share them this week in our Fresh Impact newsletter. So if you're not a member of that yet, you can go ahead and get down in the description down below. I'll have a link there where you can sign up for a Fresh Impact newsletter. I'm going to share the questions that he asked me. You could say, call them, questions, preaching questions from a millennial. He wanted to know things like how to pastor a church. He wanted to know how to not have a church be in division. He wanted to know whether or not he should have a girlfriend or not. He wanted to know whether or not, on tips on how to preach. He wanted to know. There's a lot of different things he put in there that I found fascinating. So I meet with him probably every other week, and we talk and we chat about these dozen questions, which is kind of like our curriculum. And so, so what I did was to give him an opportunity to go ahead and preach. I went ahead and let him speak at our lock-in. And I had said, share your testimony. You got about 15 minutes, and he begged me for 20 minutes. So I gave him 20 minutes, and it wasn't terrible. I'm glad nobody videotaped my first sermon. I can tell you that, because it, probably wasn't very much to talk about. And as 18-year-old young men called to preach are, he had a head full of steam, and I wound up videoing his message, and I gave it to him. And I'm going to go ahead and sit down. I told him, I said, watch it, make notes on your message. And I said, I'm going to sit down with you and make notes on your message. And we're going to sit down and we're going to compare our notes together. So if we're wanting to raise up next generation preachers, ultimately you're going to have to make a time commitment, gauge their commitment level, gauge their, what I learned from Doug Fields probably 20 years ago, talk about being FAT, FAT, being faithful, available, and teachable, and gauging him or her in those areas, regardless of whether they're called to preach or pastor or children's ministry or whatever ministry they want to be a part of. And I guess I would say this, if you're going to raise up a next generation preacher, be prepared. Be prepared to have, be challenged. Be prepared to create opportunities that you would not normally create. Put them in a good situation where if they blow it or fail, they're not going to injure anything. They're not going to destroy anything. They're not going to hurt anything. They're just going to get up and go. And be sure to meet with them. Ask them to write down questions. Ask them to go ahead and create kind of a curriculum with them and say, well, what do you want to know about the ministry? What do you want to know about these things? And so that's kind of been our study together for these past couple of weeks, and he's coming along pretty good. And hopefully he'll stick with it. Hopefully he'll stick around, and we'll kind of tell. So pray for me and pray for him as well. So anyway, if you are wanting any questions to ask about what I'm doing with this young man, you leave me a question down below. I'd love to talk to you about it. Maybe you're raising up a young person. What are some tips that you have for raising up a next generation pastor or preacher? I would love to hear from you. If you're brand spanking new, thank you for joining me today here on Mentor Me Monday. And if you want videos like this in your inbox, please hit the subscribe button right there, and that will get videos like this in your inbox. And also, if you are a regular, thank you so much, as usual, for being a part of what's going on here every Monday and Tuesday with the Tuesday Panic. Next week, I'm going to take the week off, if that's okay. It is Christmas week, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a break and relax and rest, and you can relax and rest as well. And so enjoy the holidays, enjoy your time with your family, enjoy your time with your church. And if, by the way, too, you'll notice at the beginning and the end of this video don't have your typical bumpers on the end of it, is because my computer got destroyed. The logic board went out. And so I hope you don't mind the plain version of the Mentor Me Monday. And if you have any questions or anything like that, anything I can pray for you about, please let me know in the comments down below. And I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, okay? You guys have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Tuesday Panic.